Here it is. Here's the Bonnie Doon, all repaired. Oh, he's got a mate right behind him. Can you see his mate there? Well, g'day from the shed, everyone. So today I'm going to have a bit of a look at some vintage rods. So I've got quite a collection underway now. I've got these ones here. I've got all this stuff up in the racks there. I'll just get the light out of the way. Got an old Gillies there, an ancient ugly stick. What else have I got? This is hasn't even got a brand on it, some kind of rod, maybe a custom. That's the dog coughing in the background, don't worry about that. Got an old Berkeley there. Got some rippers. But the ones I'm really into is the old solid glass Jarvis Walkers. So I've got an old, that's an old Hawkesbury in reasonable condition. I've had to replace a couple of guides. This one here, the old Clarence, that's in excellent condition. And I haven't got this reel on eBay to match it. It's a bit big for it, but it goes alright. But this one here is the one I want to talk about today. That, I'll just roll it around. That's actually the one I've been looking for a while. That is a Jarvis Walker Bonnie Doon. Solid glass. What does that say there? Australian fiberglass blank, assembled in Malaysia. I was actually given this rod by a very generous bloke. He contacted me and said, I've got a Bonnie Doon, if you want it, come get it. So I did. I came and got it. And all he wanted in return was a whiting rig tutorial for his daughter, which you'll see at the end of this video. But anyway, let's have a look at this one. So it's in pretty good condition, but there are a few faults with it. There's a couple of minor faults and there is a major fault with it, which I'll show you now. Let me just put the camera on my head and I'll be able to use two hands to explain things. Alright, let's have a look at first the bottom half of the rod. So it's in pretty reasonable condition actually. The reel seat, excellent. No rust on the stainless steel. The old double ring, old style reel seat. All the old rods used to have these. The first fault is there's obviously been a problem with the butt because previous owner has just put, looks like plastic chair leg cover on the bottom there. The you know, the cap you see on the legs of chairs, old kitchen chairs. So there's a problem with the butt and they've just glued that plastic on there to cover it. Not the end of the world. You can't really notice it, but that is there. The second fault is a very minor fault, but I'm being as honest about the condition of the rod as I can. The old, so that's a stainless steel and ceramic guide, and the stainless steel is just getting a little bit rusty and coming through onto the guide. Apart from that, the bottom half of the rod is perfect. And for a, I'm not 100% sure of the age, but I'm thinking late 70s, early 80s. Correct me if I'm wrong, if you know the age of these things. For a rod of that age, which is 40 plus years, that's in great nick. Just put these ones back a little bit. Let's have a look at the top half of the rod. And this is where the major issue comes in. So, most of the guides are great, except that one. That one's actually come loose and has been glued back in at some stage, but hasn't been glued in correctly. It actually sits above the rest of the guide. That ceramic ring there should sit inside. Minor fault, it's not the end of the world and will still work great. There is a bit of a sharp edge there, but should be fine. Here's the major fault. The rod was actually broken. So here's the ferrule. So that slides in there, the other end. That should be there. At some stage the rod had been cracked, and as soon as I put a load on it to test it, it just broke. So easy fix. What I've done is I've just cut that away there. So basically I cut right there, cut the ferrule off, I've just cleaned that up slightly. It will cause an issue because you're meant to see a red binding there, so it won't be 100% authentic when I put it back together. So the ferrule will sit about there when I'm finished repairing it, but from there up it's fine, it's great. What I've done with the ferrule, just another fault with that before we started, someone had tried to glue it before and made a bit of a mess of it. It's all the stainless steel was slightly damaged here, but again, easy fixed. So what I did was I drilled out the fiberglass that was in there, cleaned it out as best I could, and I'm going to just refit it. I'll get some I've got some epoxy here. I'll just re-glue it there, and fingers crossed, I might have to clean up that edge a little bit, but fingers crossed it should just slide straight back in and rod repaired. But yeah, that's where we're at. It's, for its age, it's in pretty good condition, but it needs work. Anyway, I'm going to fix that, so I won't show you the process of fixing that. Basically all it is putting a bit of glue in there and sticking that back on. You don't need to see that, that's easy. When it's done, I'm going to go and try and catch a squid with this. I'll take it out, catch a squid. So the next time you see this, it'll be on the kayak. Alright, here we are, down at Woody's. It's been very windy for a while, but we've got looks like a brief window in the wind. So I'm going to get out there and see if I can find a squid. And here it is. Here's the Bonnie Doon, all repaired. So that's where I repaired it. You can see there's no red binding just there. So I had to cut a piece off and re-glue it. But should be all good to go. So let's get out there, try and catch a squid on the classic Bonnie Doon. Alright, so the water looks nice and clear. So let's not muck around anymore. Let's get busy with this old classic, hey? It's I'm not sure it's going to be a regular squid rod because it is quite heavy and solid glass, but we're here to catch a squid with a classic, so let's give it a go. So first thing I'm seeing, it's a very bouncy rod, plus the fact that I've got mono on instead of braid. I usually use braid for squidding. It's don't you touch my jig, Shag. It's going to be a very slow jigging action, but I reckon we'll get some. I do have my usual rod here as well, so we'll see how we go. Wow, slow start to the day. Very slow going, not even a touch. Come on, squid, don't you know I'm trying to show off my Bonnie Doon. Trying to catch a squid on my Bonnie Doon. Come on, get involved. Alright, well that worked. I asked them to get involved, and here we go, they're involved. It's not a huge one, but this will be the first thing I've caught with the Bonnie Doon. It's not putting the biggest of bends in the rod, is it? It's only a small squid. But I haven't eaten a squid in a while. Haven't caught squid in a while. Let's get a photo. Yeah, I've been concentrating on the tailor a bit because it's been such a good tailor season. I've neglected catching the squid, so I haven't even gotten any in the freezer. I gave away some over Christmas. There you go, there's a nice squid. It's not a big one, but he's very welcome. There's one. Number 2. I am liking this rod. It's a little heavy being a solid glass rod, but it's fun to catch squid on it. Oh, it's fun to catch squid on anything really, but using a bit of vintage gear just adds to the fun. Oh, hang on, I haven't caught a squid. Oh no. Ferocious blowies of Woodman Point. Let's try that again. Alright, let's hope this one's a squid and not a blowy. Yep, tiny little squid. It's tiny. But for what I'm thinking of cooking, it's going to be the perfect size. Alright, it's been a while, but we got another one. Number 3 for the morning. There he is on the surface. It's another very small squid. Well, that's okay. There we go. It's only little, but half a dozen of them, we're having a good feed. Alright, there's one. Hopefully a little bigger. Still not huge, but it's putting a bend in the a slight bend in the old Bonnie Doon. There we go. Awesome, awesome. I do love a feed of squid. Yeah, slightly better than the last two. Still small, but very welcome. Always get your jig back out too, just in case. There we go. Good stuff. Well, the boat's heading out, taking advantage of the break in the wind. It's been very windy this week. The usual pattern of easterlies in the morning and southwesterlies in the afternoon. It'd be nice to have a boat. It'd be Be very nice to have a boat. But I've got a little boat, so that'll do. Yeah, so the old Bonnie Doon, I was so keen to get one. So I do have fond memories of when I was a very young bloke fishing with a Bonnie Doon. Very fond memories. I'm going to guess at the age. I actually sent a message to Jarvis Walker Sales the other day, asking them what the age was on Bonnie Doons, and they sent me the message back saying, oh, there's a squid. So they sent me the message back saying they were originally released in the 70s. Of course, they kept building them for quite a while, so 70s into the 80s. I have no idea what age this model is exactly, so it could be a 70s vintage, could be 80s, I really don't know, but I'm stoked to have it. Need a little bit of repair, as old rods often do, but that's fine. There we go, gotcha. That's not a bad one actually, getting better. So yeah, as I was saying, probably, I'm going to guess late 70s, early 80s on this one. I'm so stoked to get it. Thanks again to the guy that very generously gave it to me. Just contacted me and said, hey, do you want a Bonnie Doon? And I said, too right, mate, I do. Thank you very much. So there's the squid. Ripper. Alright, here we go. This isn't a bad one either. Let's get this one to the boat. This will make half a dozen, which is a good feed. That'll do me actually. I'll head in after this one. There we go. Let's get a photo. Oh, he's got a mate right behind him. He's got a mate there. So what I'm going to do is I'll put this guy in the net and get that jig straight back in. Can you see his mate there? So get this one in the net, get that jig straight back out. I reckon we'll get two here. Here he is, here he comes. He's got it. No, he let it go. Is he going to come back? Here he comes. He's a bit nervous now. I reckon he felt the spikes. Missed it again. Is he going to come back a third time? Pretty unlikely. I reckon he felt the spikes there. Oh well. I'm going to put that over that side. I reckon he took off that way. So we'll leave that there. Hopefully he comes back. Let's have a look at this one. Good squid. Good squid. Well, that's 6 if his mate's not going to come back. I reckon his mate felt the spikes and took off. Oh well, no big deal. What I might do though, I might just put this back in the water. Well, I'm telling you what I think about the Bonnie Doon as a squid rod. So the action's fine. There's no problem with the action. I'd prefer to use braid I just grabbed a reel and chucked it on. This reel's got mono on it. I'd prefer to use braid to really get that jig snapping in the water. The action's fine, no problems there. I didn't really get to load it up because they're all pretty small squid today, but yeah, you sort of saw it in action. The only issue with it is it's heavy. It's a solid glass rod, so it is heavy, and sitting there doing this all day, it's not the ideal rod. So that's the only downside of it. I'm very keen to get out and troll for tailor with it though. I reckon it'd be a great trolling rod. Just sit it in the rod holder there and let the fish catch themselves pretty much. So there you go, Jarvis Walker Bonnie Doon. So stoked I got this. Thanks again to the fella that gave it to me. Awesome. Anyway, I'm going to head in now and we'll go home, clean up those squid, and I'll cook them tonight. Alright, so we're back in the shed. I'm not far away from cooking that squid. I'm going to fire the barbie up in a second. But first, I'm going to clear a little bit of room here. And I'm going to do a whiting rig tutorial for Sean's daughter, Isabella. So Sean is the guy that gave me the rod. Isabella's his daughter. She's just getting into fishing and wants to know how to tie a whiting rig. So I'm going to show you a very basic, very simple whiting rig. So, sinker. Got some hooks. I use long shank hooks for whiting. Swivel. And up here we've got some line. 10 kilos is probably a bit heavy, but just for the sake of the tutorial, that's what I'm going to use. Anyway, I'll clear a bit of room here. I'll get that rod out the way and I'll tie a whiting rig. Righto, so we need about a metre or so of line, maybe a bit more actually. And the first thing you want to do is you get your sinker and tie your sinker on. Do a few loops there, pass that end through the bottom, then through the top, pull it tight, and trim the excess, just like that. Next step, come up about 40 centimetres or so and make a loop like that. Then do a couple of twists, pass the loop through that hole there, pull it tight. That's your first drop of loop. Move up about another 40 centimetres, pull the loop out again, twist it a couple of times, pull it through, tighten it up. So that's sitting, you can imagine that sitting on the bottom like that. There's one hook, there's one hook. At this point, at about 90 centimetres, cut it off. Put your swivel on and repeat the knot you did for the sinker. So wrap it around a few times, pass the end through the bottom, then through the top, pull it tight, trim the end. Let's grab a couple of hooks. 1, 2 hooks. Now to put your hooks on, you get your loop, just pull one end tight like so. Come outside so I can see what I'm doing. There you go. Feed it through the eye of the hook, open the loop, wrap it under the hook like so, and pull it tight. Same again for the other one. Through the eye, open the loop, around the hook, and pull it tight. And there you go. One paternoster or whiting rig. Now, of course, you can use that for any bottom fishing you like. Snapper, jewies, whatever, doesn't matter. But that's a whiting rig. So, Isabella, hope you catch plenty of fish on one of them. Anyway, let's cook this squid. Okay, that oil's plenty hot. So let's go over to the beer fridge and show you what I've got. So that is half the squid. So there's 3 squid there. I've got some mayo, I've got some salad, and we're making wraps. Got some wraps here. I like the spinach wraps. Let's get busy. Alright, let's get them in. Alright, that didn't take long. Let's have a look. Oh, beautiful. So let's pull the squid out, drain them for a minute, get all the fat off, all the oil off. Oh, look at that. So that's 3 squid. So just goes to show you don't need a huge catch of squid to have a really good meal. So I caught 6 this morning, which is plenty. I've still got 3 in the freezer for next time I want to do this. That's more than enough for my dinner now. I'm kind of making a bit of a pig of myself, but why not? Let's put these wraps together. So, like I said, I like the spinach ones. Spinach wrap. Here's all my salad. So, actually we'll chuck the squid on first. Squid goes on. Bit of mayo. I like mayo. Red onion. Bit of capsicum. Great stuff. Homegrown tomatoes, if you don't mind. They're not big, but they are delicious. A little bit of lettuce. Shred it up. I like hot sauce on my wraps. Devil's Tears. It's actually kind of mild, but there's a good name in that. Sells bottles of hot sauce. Get a bit of that on. And there you have it. There's a wrap. Take the camera off my head. I'll do a close-up. Here we go. Fresh caught squid. Beautiful. Beautiful and crunchy, fresh. Love it. I'd almost say that's my favourite way of eating squid. Crispy calamari tacos, or wraps, or whatever you want to call them. What do you reckon, dogs? The dogs are going to get some. They'll get a tiny piece each. I'm going to get another wrap into me after this one. The dogs get a bit each. Happy days. So thanks for watching, guys. That's quite a long rambling video. Started off in the shed, ended up in the shed. Thanks again to Sean for the rod. It's greatly appreciated. It's already in the back of the ute. I've tied on a little twisty. I'm going to go and see if I can catch a tailor on it tomorrow. So cross your fingers for me. But thanks, Sean. It's greatly appreciated, and I hope Isabella enjoys the whiting rig tutorial. So thanks for watching, guys. Tight lines. Cheers. See you next time.